Hello, everybody. David Shuster here. Donald Trump now has the lowest approval rating of any U.S. president in 50 years. And the bottom falling out has been driven by a crucial election group, the voters who identify not as Republicans or as Democrats, but as independents.
Look at this drop. We've been talking about it the past few months. At this point, a year ago, Donald Trump was at minus 13 points. Look at this, minus 47 points among independents, the lowest Donald Trump has ever been in either of his two terms as president with independents. That is driving these numbers. When you're 47 points underwater with independents, that's the name of the game. You can't be above water overall.
And Donald Trump is not even close to being even or above water. The latest Real Clear Politics average shows his overall approval rating the past month is at minus 13 points. But in the last poll from CNN, Trump's approval is 39% and disapproval is 61%. That's a spread of 22 points. Other recent polls are also Trump disasters.
They are all second-term lows for the given pollster. What are we talking about? AP North, 26 points below water. NBC, 22 points below water. Yahoo YouGov, 20 points below water. Quinnipiac, 19 points below water. So we're ranging from negative 19 points all the way to negative 26 points. You know, Kate, there's this question that folks keep asking, where is the floor for Donald Trump? And I'm not sure there is a floor, because if there is one, Donald Trump, at least in term number 2, has just fallen through it to another low level.
The latest Trump setback came from the U.S. Supreme Court, which ruled his tariffs are unconstitutional unless they are approved by Congress. Members of Trump's own party say he doesn't have the votes. So Trump is now panicking and insisting on Truth Social, as president, I do not have to go back to Congress to get approval of tariffs. It has already been gotten in many forms a long time ago. They were also just reaffirmed by the ridiculous and poorly crafted Supreme Court decision, President DJT. Yes, the Supreme Court reaffirmed tariffs, but the court also stated clearly that Trump must get congressional approval. Trump's refusal is causing more business confusion and economic drama.
Uncertainty and this narrative, this soap opera rather than a trade policy, remains very much with us. Folks at home, you're not going to see a price cut anytime soon. In fact, we're now, by the way, on our 4th set of tariffs in a 25-hour period. So keep track of that, would you? But none of us are going to get lower prices as a result of this.
And most of the American public understands that Trump's on-again, off-again, on-again tariff policies are causing chaos. Fox Business News just displayed this poll. Do you approve of Trump's tariffs? 34% approve, 64% disapprove. That's an underwater spread of 30 points. In the meantime, Donald Trump keeps making assertions like this.
We have a country that's now doing well. We have the greatest economy we've ever had. We have the most activity we've ever had.
Actually, under Donald Trump, economic activity, or gross domestic product, is down.
The numbers show a slight decrease in real GDP in 2025 and slower growth in the economy, certainly in the last quarter of 2025.
Still, Donald Trump keeps insisting the U.S. economy is the best ever. And at his rallies and speeches, Trump now has banner messages saying lower prices, bigger paychecks, and pre-printed personal signs that say lower prices.
When Trump goes to his rallies, he literally has pre-printed signs that say prices down. It's literally a lie. There are people, we all know it's a lie. There are people in his White House who are printing signs with lies for people to hold up because a lie is the best story that they've got to tell right now. Morally, I find lying disgusting. Economically, I think the answer here is very simple, which is he's losing on affordability. He always declares victory. I'm not going to give the man's words any credence, but the reality is utterly clear to every one of us who goes to the store.
And at the store, most prices for basic essentials are up. And the prices have gone up higher than inflation and have outpaced wage growth. So even for Americans who are making more money from higher salaries and wages, they are paying a greater portion of their income on basic necessities, including food and health care. All of this translates into record low approval ratings for Trump on the economy and on his overall job approval numbers.
One of the things that Donald Trump had been arguing, his proponents have been arguing, oh, you know what, he's doing better than he was doing in term number 1. No longer is that the case. What are we talking about here? Okay, net approval rating at this point in the term. Look at this. 22 points below water on average when you average all the pollsters from the last slide. That is actually lower. That is lower than he was at this point in term number one, when he was 17 points below water. So he's doing 5 points worse, 5 points worse, and he's doing way worse than Joe Biden was doing at this point in his term number one, when he was 13 points below water. So the bottom line is this: Donald Trump is setting new records for himself in term number two, setting new records for himself compared to where he was at this point in term number one, and he's doing worse than Joe Biden, which is, of course, the comparison that Donald Trump does not want to be, because we all know what happened to Joe Biden. His party lost the House in term number one, that midterm elections, and of course, Joe Biden was not reelected to another term. At this point, the numbers are no bueno for the President of the United States.
There is one other thing that has emerged in the polling that I find fascinating: the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. Donald Trump's behavior and associations with Epstein do not rank as important with most Americans as Trump's handling or mishandling of the economy. However, the Epstein files are breaking through and damaging Trump, and the Epstein fallout is not going away.
The Trump administration, and Donald Trump in particular, believe that they can wish this story away. The American public have a different tune to sing. What are we talking about here? Well, let's take a look at Google searches for Epstein. In fact, in the month of February, it is higher than it's ever been. Up like a rocket, up 900% versus a month ago. And the top name associated with Googling for Epstein, well, it is Donald Trump. So the story isn't not going away. It's actually getting searched more and more and more, becoming more relevant in the minds of the American public.
And the American public over the past 50 years has never been more sour on any U.S. president than Donald Trump. To be fair, a lot can change in the months before the midterm elections. However, Republicans in Congress are now looking at getting wiped out in historic proportions. And the biggest drag on the GOP, as many Republicans now acknowledge, is Donald Trump. GOP lawmakers point out that Trump's economic policies have been awful, and Trump's personal approval ratings are even worse. By the way, in Minnesota, one of Donald Trump's Border Patrol agents just got humiliated and shamed in epic fashion.
Get the out of our city! I'm not going to get out of your city, number one. Yes, get the out of Nazi.
In Minneapolis, that Customs and Border Patrol agent is getting an earful from a man exercising his constitutional rights.
Yes, you clearly. Oh, what does that say? Border Patrol. Yeah, you're a f***ing Nazi. You work for the f***ing orange fascist in chief.
Effing orange fascist in chief. And that's a reference to Donald Trump.
Yeah, get the f*** out of our city, you Nazi piece of Number one, I'm not gonna get out of your city because I live here. Oh, you want to make? You want to make? Okay, good for you. Good for you. You want to make lampshades out of people's skin?
Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular is from Nancy, who wrote, "The fat cop is so simple-minded, he's wearing short sleeves." Good catch. I look forward to reading your comments about Donald Trump panicking as his polling numbers reach historic lows. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.